We disappear for a few weeks and there's a handheld PC, a Dead Space remake, and Netflix streams games now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 263 of the It's Obvious podcast. My name is Garrett Drake, and I'm joined online by Jacob Alka.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Long time no see or hear. I miss you both dearly, and I'm glad to be in your presence once again.
Likewise, brother. And that includes Preston Pugh.
Good afternoon. Here I am.
A pleasure to be acquainted once again. The three of us, if you can believe it, rarely talk outside of this podcast these days. So it really is a reunion of sorts to go at least a month, if not longer, without speaking. Jacob and I will every now and then text each other and flirt a little bit, and Preston and I will send each other tweets and game updates. But outside of that, we don't talk often. So this podcast continues to be therapeutic. It continues to be a reunion of sorts, and we're grateful for it. And we're grateful to have all of you tuning in. A lot's happened in the last couple of months, and we are excited to dive into the topics that mean the most to us, explore them, talk about what we've been playing, of course, and answer some just exceptional questions from the community. And we thank you for that in advance. But gentlemen, tell me what life has been like for you the last several weeks. Fill me in.
Preston, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I don't have too much to say. Just been working. That's pretty much it. Just been down in Florida a lot of stuff going on down there. And yeah, just over the past week or two, I've been able to stay in the Atlanta area. Looks like I'll be able to stay here for a few more weeks. But so yeah, just enjoying being in town. That's pretty much it. Nothing too excited going on.
Nice, man. Well, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm kind of the same. Been working a lot. Been doing more hours as of late. We've lost some employees, so I've been doing a lot of overtime, which is nice in the sense where my paychecks are pretty beefy right now, but also it's bad because I just have less time to do things I love, like playing video games or, just not being at work, which is one of the things I love. But I'm also in the process of looking for a new job, which is nice. It's long overdue, and I just need a change up right now because work's kind of just driving me insane at this point, and I'm ready for just to be gone. So starting to begin that process, and not really sure where I'm sort of leaning towards in terms of a career change, but it is happening. So
find a career closer to Atlanta and move in with me once and for all, Jacob.
I'd love to.
Live with Den and I.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Den's a great roommate.
Is he? He's being a good boy right now.
Yeah, he usually is a good boy. Just whatever reason, whenever I'm on speakerphone or whenever I try to start this podcast, he's not stoked. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, he's pretty relaxed.
He's just jealous that we get to steal you for a little bit.
Yeah, he is. He does have attachment issues, so I love him nonetheless.
But yeah, that's sort of what's going on outside of games. I've been watching a lot of anime. In the middle of watching the show called RE0, which was recommended to me from Bojangles and Comatose on the Discord, and thoroughly enjoying that show. It's very good. I know I've recommended several shows to you guys at this point, so I'm not going to just keep recommending animes to you, but it is very good. I don't want to spoil it, but it's very engaging in terms of the kind of story that it's telling. It's very unique in that regard. But that's been taking a lot of time. Like I've said in the past, I usually watch anime or I'll watch a show when I'm like eating a meal. So it's sort of when I get a lot of that sort of stuff done. And besides that, I've been playing a fair bit of games when I have time to. Doing a little bit of reading. Been going out for some walks. Been doing some outside jogging now that it's a little warmer outside this time of year. That's about it, honestly. Just been doing my usual thing. Nothing too crazy.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you're willing to jog out in this Georgia humidity, man.
I mean,
It's brutal.
It wasn't that hot because like the last couple of weeks it's been raining a lot, so it hasn't been too bad. But I went out yesterday and it was very, very hot.
It is obscene over where I am. I do not even like want to walk out to my car.
Yeah, it's like walking into a sauna.
I went to Publix today, which is a grocery store for people that don't know, and I got in my car, started sweating instantly. Got into Publix, cooled down a little bit, got back in my car, sweated instantly. Got out of my seat, there's just sweat all over my seat. Sweated through my khaki shorts that I was wearing. I was like, my gosh, I'm not going back outside today. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm ready for fall again. I know that's such a cliche thing to say when you're like halfway through summer. Like, I can't wait for hoodies and campfires. And then as soon as the winter hits, you're like, I can't wait for summer. So
I've never said I can't wait for summer. I'm always waiting for hoodie season.
I used to love summer, but I don't go outside.
I love summer
anymore.
when I had no responsibilities.
Yeah, like going to the pool
and
awesome.
stuff. Yeah, I love going to the pool and like coming home, and I loved as a kid going to the pool and then coming home playing video games all afternoon while I'm like sleepy, and just chill and have no worries whatsoever. I'd like go to the pool, play basketball with friends, come home, play video games, mostly Halo 3. Never forget those days.
I was the same, except I was playing WoW.
Yeah. Whatever your game of choice was, a pool day plus video games in the summertime was true freedom as a child. So I will never forget those days.
Indeed.
I've been up to a fair amount. Mostly work, same as you guys. I mean, we're all grown adults here. So no surprise there, but been working on some fun projects. There's some good music videos. We shot a reality TV pilot for something we're actually pretty excited about. It's not even trash TV. It's actually pretty motivational, inspirational type reality TV. So it should be cool. A little bit of traveling here and there. We're in Nashville for that. More fun projects coming up. So grateful for the work as always. Playing video games when I can. Doing some more stuff for COG again, which I really enjoy. I love contributing to COG Connected as often as I can. I'll talk about that a little bit when we get to talking about games we've been playing. But outside of that, I can't really recall anything that's happened in the last couple of months that's worth even mentioning. So without further ado, I say we just talk about what we're all here for, video games. What have you guys been playing?
Been playing some different stuff. So I have a confession, unfortunately. I haven't played Mass Effect 2 in quite a while, I will admit. Last thing I did was, so I'm in the middle of the process of doing everyone's like
loyalty missions.
Yes, thank you. And I have almost all of those done, I think. And I've gotten through the point where, what's that guy's name? The guy who's in charge of you, who owns the company. What's his name?
The elusive man.
The elusive man. I just did.
He is elusive.
I just did a mission where we went to the. God, I'm having a huge brain fart right now. The collector ship.
In that game.
Went to the collector ship that was apparently abandoned, but it really wasn't. It was a trap. Spoilers. Sorry, you should have played the game at this point. But yeah, then Shepard got mad at him and everything.
It's funny you say that. You're the guy who's playing it for the first time, like
yeah,
however many years it's been since it came out. Over 10 years.
But you got to think, like, just hearing that vaguely, like, you're not even going to know what that means. Like, if you haven't played 1 or 2 at this point, like, you're just like, what do those words mean? The collectors? But yeah, it's not that I don't enjoy the game, but I'm sort of distracted with other things that I'm enjoying right now. One of those being Scarlet Nexus. I'm playing that on PS5. And have you guys heard of this game?
Yes,
I have heard of it, yeah.
I'm waiting for a price drop.
So it is very fun. It sort of reminds me of what was that Nintendo game? The cop
Astral
anime
Chain.
game. That's sort of like Astral Chain, the combat anyway. It's sort of in like an anime esque art style. It's basically these people that have these abilities through. I guess they sort of get them through like. They give them these drugs or something, and then if you pass the test and you don't die, then you become whatever they are. I don't even remember. It's been a little while since I've touched the game, but
they're like Witchers,
sort of, yeah. But you're like a part of this like task force that's in charge of like saving this world from I forget what they're called, but there are these like things that are invading the world, and you have to protect the cities and the people from these things that are just trying to wreak havoc and stuff. And the thing that's really good about the game is not only the combat, but also just the sort of the characters that you team up with, and that are also a part of your unit and stuff. And every character is sort of just really interesting in that like they each have different personalities, and you sort of have like these one-on-one like episodes with each character in a sense, where it really reminded me a lot of something that Fire Emblem Three Houses did, which was kind of cool. And it's sort of the same way in that where you hang out with them multiple times, so that like something that you do in the first episode will carry on to a development in the next one, which is kind of cool. And all at the same time, there's like this overarching story that's going on the whole time. And I've really been enjoying it in that sense. And there's the cutscenes when they do happen are pretty good. Not everything is like, the game does this thing where like most of the episodes, like the character things, are like these little like comic sort of style panels that come up, where they'll like their faces will pop up when they say something, and like, but it won't be like just static. Like it'll be sort of like a comic sort of snippet. Like it'll be these cutouts, and then their faces will be in there, and it has this way of like just keeping you engaged instead of just like, you know, like your character standing there and the other character standing there on the screen, like, and you just see dialogue. Like it's more engaging how they do it. It's sort of hard to explain if you haven't seen it, but I've been enjoying it a lot. It's a nice change of pace. But I haven't played it in a week or so, but I need to get back to it. But the new big thing that I have been playing is Final Fantasy XIV, Garrett.
Oh boy.
I have jumped into a new MMO. Not as much as I would like to at this point, but I am level 22. I am a rogue, of course, and it's a lot of fun. Really enjoying just the sense of starting a new adventure in a brand new MMO. I think the story, even though I'm early on and I've heard that A Realm Reborn, which is like the beginning part of Final Fantasy, isn't the best in terms of its narrative and stuff like that. And it probably feels a little dated at this point, but I still think it has some charm to it. And I think even though I don't have very many like spells unlocked yet, I still find the combat really engaging, and it's a lot more flashy than something like WoW, which I've been playing for a long time. I'm enjoying the class hall quests. Like every 5 levels, I think you get a unique quest for your class, like whether it be like rogue or warrior or whatever you're playing. I just happen to be playing rogue, so I think those quests are a little more engaging, which are cool. And you always get like a class weapon or gear that's good for your class out of that, or a new like ability, for example. So that stuff's all cool, and I've sort of been like compelled to play it because I've been watching streamers that have sort of been like jumping ship from WoW to try a new MMO, and it's been kind of cool to see like how they're enjoying it. And then, you know, I've just been trying it myself and have been enjoying it too. I remember I tried it way back in the day on PS4, I think. I think we all did. It might have just been me and Preston, but I ended up just making a new account. I don't know why I quit back then. I guess I just wasn't really into it, but yeah, I've been enjoying it. Not a whole lot more to say about it. I need to get more into it. I'm just playing the free trial right now, which goes all the way up through level 50, I believe. So I got quite a while before I'll actually need to pay for it, and maybe I'll end up not liking it by then. But I imagine, you know, I'll want to purchase the DLCs and see the story through, because I've heard just crazy good things about Stormblood and also Shadowbringers especially. So seems like something that I'm going to be playing for a little while. But the only other thing I've been playing besides that is World of Warcraft. A new patch finally came out the end of June. So that's been taking a lot of my time. With the new patch came a new raid, a new Mythic Plus season, which is the dungeon system. Been doing a lot of dungeons, been doing a lot of raiding. So I've been gearing up my character, raiding with the guild. It's been really fun actually. My class is really good this patch, so it's always nice going into a raid and like, you know, putting in the effort to gear your character optimally and then showing up and doing the most DPS is something that's always been really satisfying to me. Because even if you know, like, no one's gonna outright say like, "Oh, good job, you're like doing the most DPS," but like, you know, like low key, like they're thinking like, "Man, that guy's doing so much more damage than me. I'm really jealous." That's what everyone thinks about me. I know it is. But besides that, there's a new space in the world called Korthia, and that's been a really cool area to sort of explore and find out all the secrets in. I've gotten several new mounts from the new area, which is cool. Unlike the base Shadowlands, they've actually added some unique models to the mounts in this patch. So actually getting some different looking models as opposed to just recolors of mounts that we already had, or just models that they used and put a different like skin on it. So all that stuff's been kind of nice, but I'm also at the point where I'm starting to feel like I've already played everything. So we'll see how long I keep playing WoW, but enjoying it right now. But all good and fun for now. But that's about it for me, boys. What about you guys?
Sounds like you've been having a lot of fun, Jacob.
Yeah, been trying some different things for the most part.
Yeah, I haven't played Final Fantasy 14 in years at this point. I think I dabbled.
So you did try
once.
it with us.
I think we dabbled for like a stream or like a short video that we never put out. I can't remember. I just remember Kyle was there and a couple other people.
Yeah, that was the last time I had played it.
Nice. I've heard that game is just thriving right now. I mean, I feel like it has been for a long time now, but it's been in the all over Twitter. People above me are very loud.
I feel like it's
Twitter
getting
recently.
the recognition that it deserves at this point.
Nice.
I feel like people just haven't been paying attention to it.
I'm one of them. So, but I continue to hear great things. I've been playing a handful of things. Mass Effect 3. It has been exciting to replay because I hadn't replayed it, of course, since it initially launched. But having played 1, 2, and jumping right into 3 has made it that much more effective. With my Shepard, I've transitioned through all the games and reconnecting with characters from the first game to characters from the second game, and how the story feels just 10 times more impactful. Not only with the added DLC that wasn't initially included, but just playing it that soon after the games that came before it has been really awesome. Really enjoying that. Also haven't played it in a while. I've been distracted by other games, and I've just been busy too, so I haven't really been in the mood to sit down and like I don't know, just play through a RPG, even though there's a lot of action in that game, but kind of wanted to take a little break because I've been playing nonstop Mass Effect for a while. So in the meantime, I've been playing a lot of Halo 3 with Zach, as always, Ricky Prangus. Preston, we might be getting on tonight if you're free tonight, but we play that at least a couple times a week, and it is just always so much fun because we win 99% of the matches we play, and it is just thrilling to be in a Warthog together playing like big team capture the flag is just endlessly fun. And Zach and I have been playing the game since 2007 together, so we just have this just unbridled chemistry as teammates. So we just are constantly playing off one another, and it usually works out in our favor. So Halo 3 just continues to be a great time. I started a Plague Tale Innocence because it was on PlayStation Plus. I was telling you guys before we started, it's kind of a slog to me. The mechanics aren't necessarily, they're well developed, they function well, but it feels dated in the sense where a bunch of other games have used similar mechanics that just make it a little less interesting. By no means a bad game at all. I think it feels a little too familiar for me, but I'm also kind of bothered by how stupid the NPCs are. Not that it isn't even that they're poorly developed. It's not poorly developed AI. I think it's just the way the game's designed just makes them seem so stupid. That kind of bothers me. But I am interested in the world. I like the story, the lore. And I'm still wanting to finish it and see it through and find out more about the characters, especially because there's a sequel in the way. So it might take me a while to get through that. I've been playing like maybe an hour every other day this past week. So it's all right. Don't love it at all, but I'm gonna finish it at some point. Jump back into Hunt Showdown for the new map. Can't remember what the new map is called, but it's been awesome. There's a ton of elevation. There's like more mountainous areas. There's a lot more elevation, like dynamic elevation in the map, which has kind of been absent from the first 2 Hunt maps. There's also a new boss I hadn't fought yet. That's cool. Some new weapons, some new weapon modifiers, some new legendary hunters to use. So And there's also a new ranking system that kind of helps you or play matches with more suitable players, and it's interesting. The game just continues to undergo a lot of changes that I think, for the most part, have been really positive, and that game continues to be amazing. And I'd forgotten how much I love it until I jumped back into the new map. So, as I said, Jacob, I'd love to play with you. Preston, if you're up for it, and I know a few of you from the community tend to play as well. So, not only would I love to hear your thoughts about the new map, but at some point, maybe this coming week, we can team up for a few matches. And outside of that,
very interested to play it. I really
anytime you're up for it, man, I'm down. Because I'm confident you'd have a good time, especially if we're playing together. Mm-hmm. But other than that, just Aliens Fireteam Elite, the preview I did for COG Connected. I won't share too much here because I did a whole video on my thoughts, but on COG's YouTube channel. But it is an all-right, very familiar wave-based action third-person shooter. I think the best way to describe it is Gears of War meets Left 4 Dead. Very familiar enemy types. They are all xenomorphs, and they like have different animations from traditional zombie-like enemies, but they basically have the same modifiers of zombies you'd see in Left 4 Dead, like ones that explode, ones that charge you, ones that are just cannon fodder. So a lot of it felt very familiar, but I say in the video that if you're an Aliens fan, you'll probably like it even more. But I like Aliens, but not enough for it to really make a difference for me because the gameplay is kind of standard. So decent wave-based style shooter with very repetitive gameplay. So to each their own, but it's not quite for me, I don't think. So that's all I played, gentlemen. Enjoyed every bit of it for the most part. Had a lot of fun, and look forward to playing more games in the coming days if I have the time. So mostly looking forward to the technical preview for Halo Infinite. I'm going to be doing that for COG as well. It's something I'm taking very seriously for coverage because not only am I extremely excited for that game, but I actually care about its development. Like, I want to provide valid and informative and helpful feedback, and that's kind of the point of this initial tech test. So very excited about that.
Yeah, Garrett, just think your feedback from this test could determine whether I like this game or not. You understand that?
Yeah, right. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm going to do my best to leave my bias at the door when I play it. I mean, I will, but I'm hoping I can do something productive.
Don't let me down.
COG and 343. So excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. It's going to be cool. Hopefully.
Yeah. Outside of that, gentlemen, that's all I got. So if you guys are ready to jump into the news, let's rumble.
Well, Preston, what have you played?
I guess I just don't exist, Garrett.
Oh, I could have sworn Preston already told us. Maybe I'm thinking of like before we started recording, he was talking about it a little bit.
I think typically we go in the order of either
Jacob and Jacob and me. I think that's why I was confused. My apologies.
No, it's all good. I honestly don't have too much to add. Even though I've played a lot, I really don't have a lot to say. Too much to say on any of it. I was able to platinum Returnal, which was cool. I really wanted that platinum because I know it's deemed like pretty hard to get. Just because it's not the easiest game, so that's cool to have. The grinding at the end was just pretty dumb, honestly. I don't really understand the point of random collectibles. It's like once you beat the game, it's like clearly I can do everything. So now I just have to do it as many times or what am I trying to? It's just like you know what I'm trying to say. It's like once you've proven yourself, it's dumb that you have to just grind for something and just get lucky. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. So
it's an unnecessary, randomly generated grind.
Yes, I feel like collectibles should just be there because there is a collectible at the end of the game. These like sun fragments or whatever that are just there. You don't have to randomly find them. So I feel like the collectibles should have been like that somewhat. So besides that, though, really enjoyed my time with the game. Then I went and finally platinumed near Replicant, which very, very much enjoyed. Definitely kind of a slog towards the end because you're just having to play the same section of the game over and over again. There is some new stuff on the final ending that is added to this game. It was not in the original. That was really cool to see. That kind of ties the game more into Automata. So that was very interesting and cool to go through. The platinum was not fun. There was an obscene amount of grinding for materials to upgrade. You have to upgrade like pretty much every weapon in the game, which just took such a long time. But I just am stupid and wanted that platinum, so I did it. So pretty good podcast game, I guess. Was very cool to see. I don't know if you guys saw that, but with the opening ceremony of the Olympics, when all the countries are walking in, there was a lot of video game music being played.
Yep.
And near the original Nier soundtrack, the my favorite song off the soundtrack, Song of the Ancients, was they played it as one country walked in. I thought that was so awesome. So
one song was from Kingdom Hearts, actually.
Yeah, the Colosseum music from Kingdom Hearts was played, and I think the Final Fantasy main theme was played at one point. So I think that's
very cool,
pretty awesome for Tokyo to have done that. But yeah, speaking of that as well, I was able to pre-order the complete vinyl collection of the Nier soundtrack that on Square Enix's store, which was like an ordeal to actually get my order through. They like wouldn't accept it, so I was on
their store is terrible.
It is bad, dude. I was on customer support with them for like days through email to get my order to go through.
Oh my god.
So I got the confirmation though, and they have my money, so I'm assuming everything is fine. So, but anywho, yeah, that's all I have to say about Nier. Besides the excessive grinding at the end, I really, really like that game. What else did I play? More Mass Effect. I think I platinum Mass Effect 2, jumped into Mass Effect 3. I think kind of like Garrett, a few more things have kind of taken my my attention from that just because it was so much Mass Effect. But going into 3, I can, pretty much relate to everything he said about just it being a lot more impactful, and I'm interested to see story beats and stuff that I don't necessarily remember from when I played it all that time ago. There's one more thing. Oh yeah, there's a few little other things, but I guess the other main thing I've been playing has been the Skyward Sword HD Switch version that just released this past week.
Tell me about that.
I am surprised by how well the motion controls work. I didn't really have too much of an issue with the Wii controls. Like, they worked fine, and I actually just played Skyward Sword on Wii a few months ago, and I thought it was fine, but I feel like these work better, honestly. I haven't had any issues in terms of like the angles at which you swing your sword and stuff. It's all been extremely responsive. The aiming and stuff, it works very well. You push the Y button to recalibrate your controller, so if anything is, wonky at all, just one button fixes everything. So yeah, and I played a little bit with the button controls, and those work fine too. The only thing that's kind of weird is because the motion controls are mapped to the right stick, you have to hold L to move the camera around. So that takes a little bit of getting used to, but after a few minutes of playing around with it, it works. But I don't really want to play it like that. I actually prefer the motion controls in this game, and you're actually able to use the right stick on the Joy-Cons to move the camera freely, which you were not able to do in the Wii version. But I think I was telling Garrett this the other day. I'm farther than I was when we talked. I'm on the 5th temple, but the game is surprisingly, the temples at least, are extremely linear and short compared to like Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, the other two Zelda games I played recently. And I remember the game being, very compact and linear. And I know that's why a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of this game, along with the motion controls. But that definitely is standing out to me. I did think the 4th temple was much better than the first 3. So I'm interested to see if they continue to get better and better. But the game is very charming. I think the art style looks really, really good up-resed. Like, it was, kind of surprising me, shocked me how good it looks on the Switch. the like watercolor aesthetics look just really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm still that's kind of the main thing that I'm playing right now. I'm actually taking my time because when I originally played through this game, I was just rushing through it so I could return the Wii to the GameStop that I bought it from, so I could get my money back. So
slime dog.
Yeah, I really wasn't able to spend too much time with it, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think now kind of I'll see if my thoughts differ at all once I actually beat the game, but as of now, I think it's my least favorite 3D Zelda game. Like I would definitely put, of course, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker, Majora's Mask above this one, but this is still a really fantastic game. My least favorite Zelda game is still a really, really good game. So yeah, like I said, I'll see if my feelings or thoughts change at all the more I play it. So nice. Also, besides that, I dabbled in a Cyberpunk 2077. I wanted to see what it played like on a PS5 the other day. So I downloaded all the patches, and I haven't been on the podcast since then, but it was on sale at Best Buy with a steelbook for $20 the other week. So I was like, might as well just get it, I guess. I don't know why. For $20. So tried it out.
Is the steelbook cool?
No, it sucks. It's really bad. It's just like a generic, like random dude. I don't even know what faction he's from. Just on the front, it's really bad.
Wait, is it like bright yellow?
It's no, it's like purple. It's like really pastel looking. It's the Best Buy one, and they have like 3 or 4 they would just give you, and they all suck. But I collect steelbooks, so I just thought, what the heck, I might as well get this one. Mm-hmm. But it's running surprisingly well. Like it's pretty locked in, so I can definitely tell that the patches work. There's significantly less people on the streets than in the PC version, so it feels a little barren. But like I said, I was surprised by the frame rate, at least by how well it's running. So so yeah, Garrett, are you seeing that message?
Yeah, what does that mean? Let's see.
I don't know. Don't tell me they added a feature where you can only be in calls for like an hour.
Try it free. I'll just sign up for now.
Wait, is there a subscription now?
Apparently.
Freaking Google, man.
Wow.
Won't let us use this for free. These guys, let me tell you.
Try it risk-free for 14 days.
How much are they charging?
$8.
Jeez, dude.
Is that just for
it's like
the
a original Netflix subscription? Well, we're all set for now.
Put a reminder so you don't forget to cancel it.
Yeah. I don't have to keep it for the sake of this podcast unless we start meeting in person again. Travel across the planet to see each other.
I'd do it.
I'm still waiting on you to come visit me, Jacob.
Well, my days off have changed now. I'm off Saturday and Sunday now.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Well, I know you work a lot of Saturdays, so and probably Sundays too.
Depends on the week.
I'm helping someone move next Saturday. I might be able to hang out with you at some point.
Okay. Who are you helping move?
Elliot.
Where's he moving?
He's moving downtown.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, he and Evan both down here now.
Yeah.
They have all the reason in the world to come see me, Jacob.
I know.
You know where in downtown he's moving?
I don't.
Okay.
I do not. I could figure it out, though, if you're curious.
No, that's all good.
All right. I'm sure the listeners care.
Hey, they care about this, all right? This is important stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, though. That's all I've done.
Well, as we jump into the news, I think that is a perfect transition to begin with the Nintendo Switch OLED, which I know we're all incredibly stoked about.
I've been waiting for this for years, Garrett.
Yeah, dude.
That new improved screen The
Yeah,
colors that are just going to
dude.
pop. The kickstand.
Oh,
No
yeah,
longer
dude.
will I not be able to bump my Switch when I am setting it up on its kickstand.
Yeah.
No, obviously this Switch announcement is really disappointing.
But understandable.
Understandable. Yeah, I mean, these are good improvements that they made for sure. And I'm definitely not surprised that this is what they announced. Preston, I think you were pretty convinced that the Switch Pro was going to be announced in place of this. Am I correct?
I think we all were.
I was, just because of Bloomberg and all these other, creditable or reliable sites were reporting that was the case. And I know a lot of the same insiders are still saying there is going to be another iteration of Switch, which I do know, like, there is another Switch coming. I think people were obviously thinking this was what that was going to be. Obviously not. But I don't know at this point whether that next Switch is just going to be like a Switch 2, or if it's just going to be like another, version 1 of the Switch with just
Nintendo
better
Switch
hardware.
U.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is this is a good option if you're trying to like just jump into Switch, I guess, because it's a bigger, better screen. But
a little more money, I guess.
Yeah, $50. It's it's $50. I mean, if you're mainly just using, my Switch is 90% of the time in its dock, so this is definitely a just not even like bothered looking into this. This is not a worthy upgrade for me. Even if I mainly played it handheld, like I don't really care that much. So yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see how well this thing sells, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
definitely disappointing. So
we need some Switch games, man. Like, I know they've released some, like we just got Mario Golf, which is kind of disappointing
after the reviews.
Which I was kind of looking forward to.
Me too, man.
I was in the mood for a Mario game, but I don't know. Like, it just feels like it's been so long since we've had a really top tier Nintendo release.
Yeah, I guess the next big one is Metroid Dread coming out this October.
Yeah, then we got the two new Pokemon games. Well, I guess one's a remake, but
yeah,
one will be new.
But that open world game looks like it's so bad to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, we just haven't seen it.
It could be just I'm blinded for not being a huge Pokemon fan, but
I don't think the biggest Pokemon fan ever would tell you that initial reveal trailer was good, because it wasn't. It's just that's just the game that people have been wanting for such a long time. So it's cool to see they're actually trying to do it.
Mm-hmm. So
trying. It's just everybody is just hoping, like praying that this actually turns out good.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, trying's a strong word when they refuse to release us a Pro Switch.
Yeah, I think that was I was just kind of hoping that there would just be a more powerful console for that type of game to to run on for that game and for Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, especially Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Breath of the Wild 1 looks and runs phenomenally on original Switch, but jumping into a sequel
phenomenally.
Maybe I don't have a good memory for it then, but I remember it never giving me really any issues.
The Lost Woods runs at like 5 frames a second.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's fine.
Everything else though, I thought was great.
Yeah, it definitely
at least from what I remember. Yeah, I think it would be more exciting whether it ran well or not originally, just to play any new game on better hardware for the sequel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've been toying around with the idea of. Sorry. Were you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Sorry. I've been toying around with the idea of playing Hades on my Switch. I think that would be a nice place to play it, but haven't actually done it yet. So I might.
I started it there. It ran well for me. I only played it for a little bit though.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of those games that I feel like I need to play. Like, I just hear everyone talk about it every time I get on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, roguelites just don't do it for me, man. I couldn't even really I don't even think I want to go back to Returnal. I just didn't enjoy it enough.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize it's a sick game, like it's really cool, but I still can't get into those games for some reason.
Yeah,
I
Returnal.
feel like I
think
played
was
another
the
one recently too that I'm forgetting about. Maybe not.
roguelike. Yeah, Returnal's the only roguelike I've actually stuck with. I don't know, that gameplay loop just grabbed me more than the other ones.
I think the thing that people like a lot about Hades is not only just the combat and stuff and the animation, but also I think the narrative is supposed to be pretty decent in that
Yeah,
one.
from what
I
I
don't know
played,
if-
I thought it was really cool.
I'm not sure if like Returnal's the same way. I think he might have said the story was decent.
Yeah, the story in Returnal is cool.
Okay. But yeah. I think a story that would be good to jump into next would be the Switch deck. Or not Switch deck.
That's pretty much what it is. Handheld PC, man. Let's do it.
Oh man.
Preston, did you pre-order one of these?
No,
Yeah, me neither.
I thought about it, but I did not.
I'm interested to see what the reviews are like when it finally comes out. Because
same.
my thoughts are, I mean, even if it runs PC games well, at that point, it's not really even a PC experience anymore because it's handheld. And like, I would play PC exclusives on, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. I mean, PC games are PC games because you're playing on mouse and keyboard. Like, that's what makes them a PC experience to me. I mean, of course, it helps too that you like a powerful machine to run at a higher frame rate, better performance, blah, 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 blah. That's a big part of it too. But even the mouse and keyboard is like the, what's the phrase I'm trying to find? The bread and butter, I guess, of PC. Like that's the core experience to me. It's like the way you're controlling the game.
Yeah.
So, I play some PC games with a controller depending on what it is. If it's like a third-person action game, I wouldn't even, I guess if it's a shooter, if it's a projectile game, that's what I'm trying to say, I use mouse and keyboard. Anything else, I use a controller.
Yeah. I mean, it is really cool though to just have your entire Steam library like available on this device. Like,
that is cool.
That's really cool.
Just like take it on a plane and play, I don't know.
Like Hades, for example.
I'm trying to think of a single PC exclusive right now. Like, what is a PC exclusive?
It don't have to be an exclusive, you know? Like, no.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like where you can only play on PC. You're like, oh, wow, I can take this PC game on a plane with me now.
Well, let's look at Steam real quick.
Because I'm thinking like there's even like games I would only ever play on PC, like Doom Eternal, that you can play on Switch. Sure, it's a vastly inferior experience, but you can technically play it on a Switch.
Well, it's not whether you can play it on both. It's you would probably want to play it on the Steam Deck if you have them both. Just be a better experience.
I think one of the cool things of the Steam Deck as well is just every game that you already own on Steam just works on it. So you wouldn't need to buy Doom Eternal for PC and for Switch. It's
you just sign in and it's
just have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a video of this thing and it has like it has the bumper and the triggers and it also has 4 buttons on the back where your ring finger and your pinky are resting. So that's pretty cool. Just seems like it's better than the Switch in every way.
And the way you grip it too. I watched Jake Baldino's video talking about it, and something I kind of overlooked is how concave the handles are behind it. You can kind of grip it really well.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Here's the problem, guys. You can't take off the handles. They're not Joy-Cons.
Right.
That's the downside. So no Skyward Sword, right?
Bummer.
Have they said you can? Is it like Bluetooth enabled, and is there like USB ports to say if you're like, oh, I want to plug in like a keyboard and mouse?
Yes, you can. It can plug into like a USB dock. They showed a image of it being able to you can essentially plug it into a dock and output this thing to a monitor and have a keyboard and mouse. Yeah, I mean, it essentially is a laptop.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is really exciting. Like the potential of it is pretty immense.
Mm-hmm.
So I look forward to hearing more about it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. I'm just kind of on just kind of want to wait and see how this thing actually, performs in real life. Just how the game's
really
actually
stress test the heck out of it.
So something I just thought of is because you know how Square just re-released all the Final Fantasies on Steam and mobile.
Yeah,
like this would be a great way to play those on the go, on a handheld. Besides, like your phone, I guess.
Yeah, man, it's like, it's on your phone. So that's the.
Yeah. I wonder like how it is on your phone though, like because it is out, so they are out. So
I don't think the new versions are out, but the old versions are.
Are you sure? I think.
Yeah, this
they're
is a pixel
out.
remaster of them. The older versions, I think,
okay.
are still up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the old one on Steam. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this looks cool. I'll be interested to see just kind of how future proofed this device is. Like if like the new, like more intensive games that are coming out over the next couple of years, how they're going to be able to run on this.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to travel with a PC. That's obviously just very difficult. So it'd be cool to take your handheld PC on the road and just plug it up to wherever you're at when you get there.
Yeah, for sure.
Just get another laptop, Garrett. Just do it.
Dude, traveling.
I don't travel enough to justify that purchase.
My laptop is just so massive that it's the biggest pain in the butt ever. Like when I travel with my PS5 and laptop, I swear like I'm hauling around like a 200-pound sack on my back through the airport. Have to take it.
I'm going to take them both out.
Yes,
I'm surprised you haven't been like robbed at the airport with the PS5.
Oh no, I'm very careful about it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, not the TSA wouldn't stop them, of course.
Yeah. Well, I also have it completely, so I don't have my side panels on it when I travel, like the plates on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just take the console itself, and I have it wrapped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have it wrapped in a pillowcase, so nobody can really even tell what it is.
I've never taken my panels off. Is it a lot smaller?
No, it's still big.
No, it's still unnecessarily big.
It's
still girthy.
It's still massive, but definitely a lot, smaller and easier to, stick in your backpack without the plates, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So,
speaking of PS5, real quick, I wanted to mention No Clip's documentary for Demon Souls, the remake. Have you guys seen it?
I have not.
It is really good. Loved it. Especially because I was just such a massive fan of the remake. Maybe want to go back and complete my second playthrough. So I was chasing after that platinum. I only had like 6 or 7 trophies left. Very pretty demanding trophies, but not too many. But it's an awesome documentary. I highly recommend it. It's like an hour long.
You said No Clip Demon Souls?
Yeah, No Clip Demon Souls.
Okay. I'll put that on my watch later.
It's also fascinating what Blue Point did to bring that game to where it is. It's fascinating. Mm-hmm. So like they are some of the most talented developers I've seen in the industry, up there with like Naughty Dog and all the others. I mean, not really obviously creating their own IP right now, but what they did just to take the original Demon Souls to what it is in the remake is fascinating.
Well, it's looking like they might be under the Sony umbrella here pretty soon. Yeah. If that leak is...
It's where they belong.
Yeah. That's another story we missed. Not that I think any of us really care that much. But,
Housemarque.
Yeah, Housemarque joining the PlayStation fam.
Up there with the elite. The prestige gaming studios under the Sony umbrella. PlayStation Studios.
Yep. The best of the best.
I don't think it's too much of a surprise. I think it's definitely been that's been coming for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Them and Blue Point. It's a matter of time before that's done.
Definitely.
At least I think you probably saw Sony Japan. This is like super old news, but the day that Housemarque got announced, Sony Japan accidentally put out the logo with Blue Point instead. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that is probably in the works or might already technically, be done at this point if they were, if they already had a entire logo with Demon Souls on it and their logo
dude,
on it.
No, it's just a typo, man.
Oh.
You read too much into it.
It's kind of a big mistake to make. So, but yeah, that's good. I'm definitely interested to see if Sony's just gonna kind of let them. I'm assuming they're just gonna kind of let them do what they want to do. I don't necessarily think they need to kind of mold them into a studio that does kind of what the other ones do in terms of making like narrative driven third person action games. So I'd definitely like to see a Housemarque kind of do their take on a AAA game with what they do. We definitely saw what that can look like with Returnal. So I'm interested to see what they do next. So definitely if Blue Point is acquired, it's the rumors with them for forever have been a Metal Gear Solid remake. Definitely hope that is what they're doing.
Or they could do, well, they probably can't do Bloodborne, but maybe. A Bloodborne sequel? That's what I want.
I'm seeing rumors again for there being a like director's cut version of Bloodborne, but I swear something like that comes up like every month. So
Dude, I would be so happy if they just made it 60 frames on PS5.
I want to say like they have to, which I do feel I do feel like they are at some point, but it's just I don't get why it's taking so long. It's a little ridiculous.
Who knows? No one could say.
Yeah. I mean, there's like I'm forgetting its name, but some guy has already like hacked the game to be able to be 60 FPS. So if he can do it, obviously FromSoft can do it, which I know Japan Studio helped with that as well, and they no longer exist, but somebody can do it. So
somebody out there. Boys,
Well,
let's talk about...
I was going to say, while we're talking about Sony, we should talk about Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut real quick.
I think we should.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. You want to talk about it itself or just the hubbub with the price?
I guess we could tackle both a bit. Price aside, I'm very excited to experience the new Island DLC. Adaptive triggers, of course, is exciting. Haptics and the controller with the sword fighting is going to be awesome. I mean, we already had gorgeous 60 FPS on PS5 with that initial update, so just more of that's going to be cool. Those are my main excitements. I know there's a couple other things they announced that were really exciting, but the standouts for me were the new Island in particular and the haptics in the controller.
Mm-hmm. Will this be enough to get you to play it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to play it 100%. I don't think I'm going to replay the whole game, but I'm going to play the DLC for sure.
Can you do that? Can you just like upload your save and then jump
I'm assuming you can, because it's separate from the main stories. I'm assuming there's an option, kind of like the Witcher DLC, just to select that and jump in.
I hope so, because if that's the case, I might actually pick that up.
I'm assuming that's the case.
How do you guys feel about the price? I think it's $30 to upgrade from PS4 to PS5.
It's I could be wrong. I think it's $10 to upgrade. No, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. When this first came out, I think I remembered all of it, but I think it's $20 if you have the PS4 version. $20 to get all the content, and then an extra $10 to upgrade that to the PS5 version, or you can just upgrade to the PS5 version for $30. I think that's right. I have less of a problem with it because there is DLC included with it. But probably would have looked, I don't know, a little better, PR wise, if the just upgrade itself was free, instead of that being $10. And I think that's the case for both Death Stranding Director's Cut and this Director's Cut. So I think they're setting a precedent that all these, actual updates are going to cost money. That Spider-Man you weren't able to update or upgrade that for free either. So I think it's always kind of been with Sony first party studios, you have to pay for the upgrade. So
safe to assume with whatever they do with Last of Us Part 2 as well.
Yeah.
At this point, if there even is a full-on upgrade versus just the frame rate they already added.
Yeah. I'm definitely... It's nothing I'm worried about, because I was going to buy a physical copy anyways, because I don't have one for Ghost of Tsushima. I only have a digital copy, and I would like to have a physical one, so I was going to buy that one anyways. So this whole upgrade thing just was something that I was never even really going to think about. But yeah, a lot of people are, if you go by Twitter, I know that's not the majority of people, but I've definitely seen a lot of people not too pleased with it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. It probably, my thoughts probably would be determined by how big the new Island DLC is, in terms of like how many hours of content there is. But I mean, it's not like that's the only thing that they're providing in this director's cut. So maybe there is $30 worth of value on this. But this is all going to come down to whether I even want to jump back into it or not. So I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't necessarily have a problem with the price, personally. I mean, it'd be nice if it was just free, like, of course. But
yeah, and I guess that's just like, I guess that's where this is just different from me. But if just me personally, just that somebody's like, oh, $10 for the upgrade, that's just not that big a deal to me. I don't know. I know some people are not in the position for that to be like where that is a big deal for them, but I don't know. Just doesn't seem like too big of a deal to me.
But you said it was only $10?
I mean, to upgrade to like another version.
Well, it says here, I'm looking at the article.
Okay, yeah.
You can also upgrade directly from the original Ghost of Tsushima PS4 to Director's Cut on PS5 for $30.
Yeah, that's with all the content, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
is there a way to upgrade just to the PS5 version without the content? I thought that was $10.
No.
Oh, no. If you buy the content for PS4, then you pay an additional. That's what I'm thinking.
It ends up being the same amount.
Yeah, it's $30 for everything to get the PS5 version.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Or you can just buy it outright for
$70. Yeah. Okay. So my thinking is completely wrong there in the first place. That if you want to go from PS4 to PS5, it's $30. So I don't know. It's coming with all that stuff. So it honestly doesn't bother me. It would bother me more if it was a straight we're adding haptic feedback, we're adding triggers and stuff, and we're charging money for that. Then I probably would have a bigger issue. But I don't necessarily think I would even have an issue, honestly, because I just wouldn't buy it. So that's kind of where I'm.
I guess this kind of comes off as like I'm looking at the image here, the PS5 image, where it shows like all the content that's coming with it, and it kind of looks like a collector's edition. But this is just the edition. Like, this is the director's cut. Like, this is what you buy. So, I'm sure some people just want like the expansion, but you don't have the option just to get that. You have to buy like the head of the Tsushima skin set. You get the in-game items. You get the digital mini art book, director's commentary. Like, you're getting all this stuff for the price of $30. So
yeah,
I mean, I get why people are mad, I guess, but I don't really care that much, to be honest.
Yeah, that's kind of same here. I haven't cared too much about the $70, price tag either. I've bought Returnal, Demon Souls, and what else did I buy? Final Fantasy VII Rush. Yeah, I've bought like 4 games at $70 at this point, so it's nothing. Really, I'm too worried about.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Well, what do you want to talk about next, Jacob? I think we had a couple more stories here.
EA Play.
Oh,
guys,
I only noticed 2 things from this.
I watched the whole thing, and nobody cares what I have to say because it was just on in the background. Why do these people insist? Like, the people that are in charge of these things, why does everything have to be a cringe fest? I don't understand why people just can't have normal, like, talk like normal people, reveal things like normal people. Everything has to just be ridiculous. And I'm
be like a scripted PR.
Yeah,
pitch.
and
they got to tell you how passionate they are about.
No,
how they make games.
it's so. I have nothing against Austin Creed, and he was there, the guy, their speaker or whatever. But it's just like, why are you acting the way that you're acting, sir? Just
in these imaginative worlds where you become the hero and you travel to distant lands and collect artifacts and fight evil. That's kind of the rhetoric when they're speaking about these games.
And it's not every one of these things, but for the most part, they're just dumb, and it makes me not even want to watch them. Like, I want to watch like a Nintendo Direct or a state of play. I thought Xbox's thing was fine, but for some reason it's like these third-party developers just try their best, like whether it be Ubisoft or EA, to just do the stupidest things ever. I don't understand.
Well, I think the best answer is that, I mean, they are, like, these conferences are for the fans, but they're also not just for the fans. They're for the
investors.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's all PR speak.
And Battlefield 2042, you have new guns in the biggest maps we've ever created. You can destroy everything.
Funny thing about the Battlefield thing is that the Battlefield Portal thing, which I know we'll talk about in a second, was leaked on Reddit forever ago. And it sounded so obscene that everybody was like calling the guy a liar that leaked it. Because they're like, yeah, there's no way there's going to be something like that. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, that's just how much faith people don't have in EA.
I mean, I cannot imagine the endless potential, unless EA just hampers the tools in the creative mode, but what players could come up with in a sandbox like Battlefield creatively.
Yeah.
There's a ton of potential there.
I was watching the trailer and there was like this huge battle of these guys with knives, and then the other team had like these defibrillators.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was hilarious. But
I'm just thinking like what they could do with game types and modes, and if they kind of like Forge mode, if they let players play with like player speed and gravity, and like you could really do some insane stuff and really make 2042 like a timelessly, endlessly fun type of game with not only just how awesome the standard gameplay looks itself, but all the creative game modes and maps that the community could create from it could be a game that gives it like very long legs.
Oh yeah.
Or a long lifespan.
Potentially longer than the actual game itself.
Yeah.
That's kind of how like a lot of games have sprouted out of other things. Like, for example, Dota came out of Warcraft 3 custom games, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a game mode that people made. Now it's part of like, it's one of the biggest games in the world still, Dota 2. Yeah, I'm really excited about Battlefield though. Like,
Me too.
I know the showing was kind of lackluster. I mean, the Portal thing's cool, but I just really want to play the game. I don't need any more
That's October, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a couple months away. I mean, that's less than 2 months away, so
Not too long. That's my most anticipated multiplayer game for sure.
yeah, that and Halo I'm super stoked for.
I could care less about Call of Duty this year. I want Battlefield.
Wasn't Call of Duty canceled, or did they announce it finally?
I don't think it's canceled. They just have not announced it,
They have not announced it yet.
which is very strange.
Man, that is dangerously close to when it's supposed to be coming out usually this time of year.
I don't think they've ever done this actually. Like we
It's
usually
the
know.
longest they've waited. They usually announce it like shortly before E3, and then we see a demo at E3. That's usually the cycle every year.
Wonder what's going on. We didn't talk about Dead Space. You guys excited for that?
Yeah, I'm glad that the rumors were true, that it is indeed a remake for the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Motive knows what they're doing. So I don't have any reason not to believe in them. I mean, I didn't really love the Battlefield 2 campaign, but it gameplay-wise, it was fine. And Squadrons, although it's nothing like a third-person shooter, it was pretty solid. I played a few missions from that on PS5 recently. So they got some talent over there. So I'm interested to see if they can pull this off.
Yeah. I mean, the trailer was cool.
Mm-hmm.
As short as it was.
Preston, is the assumption that they just started development on this? Is that what you said? You can't wait to play it in 4 years?
I honestly haven't looked into it too much, but that was just kind of my assumption, was that it's probably a decent bit out. I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like if it wasn't, we might have gotten a little bit more. I just see like Skate is still super far away, you know.
Yeah.
We just got a teaser for this one, so I'm probably expecting like 2 or 3 years for this.
Yeah.
I've been tempted to replay the original on PC recently. That announcement, and plus Plague Tale has nothing to do with Dead Space, but it kind of has a horror vibe. It's third person. And after that announcement, I kind of wanted to go back and play the remake. I've been considering it for a while now, but if it's going to be a while before the remake's even out, I may as well play the original again.
Yeah.
So
maybe the Dead Space remake might be out before the Prince of Persia. Who knows?
Goodness gracious, man. Who knows?
Is that pretty much everything at EA Play?
I think so. I didn't even watch it, so I couldn't tell you what
Yeah.
was there.
I think that was pretty much everything that stood out to me, at least.
Those were the big things. Apex Legend Hero announcement, Knockout City new season, and Grid Legends was a new racing game, which just looks like Forza Horizon to me.
Nice.
So,
Dead Space is back. Return to the Ishimura, where the greatest horrors in sci-fi history exist around every dark corner. That would be a really
this
good
is
PR,
a remake
scripted
from
PR
the
announcer at
ground
these events.
up.
Remade from the ground up for next-gen consoles and PC. Coming fall 2025. We can't wait to tell you more in the coming years.
In the coming years.
Everything I wanted to see at EA Play wasn't there. Anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Any new like update on Fallen Order, the next one? Anything on Dragon Age or Mass Effect?
Mm-hmm.
You know
What the heck's going on over there?
Yeah.
COVID is not an acceptable excuse after December of this year. I will not listen to it again.
You won't have
The
it.
answer is poor leadership is what the answer is after December 2021.
That definitely probably can be said about BioWare for sure. I wouldn't say that about Respawn.
Yeah, where's Titanfall 3?
Yeah, dude, I heard Titanfall is like a disaster.
Yeah, there's like
right now.
two people working on it. Like literally
Talk
two
about
people.
Totally abandoned. Like
Yeah.
talk about a developer not giving a crap about their game anymore.
I mean,
That is amazing.
I know they're working on a lot right now. You know, Apex
Are they doing
Legends.
a Medal of Honor game?
I know they have their own Apex team now though. So
Yeah.
whoever's doing Star Wars is their own team.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't
think
know.
Respawn has 3 teams now.
I know they're
I think you're
helping.
right.
Vince Zampella is helping out with that new studio that used to be Dice LA. It's called Ripple Effect now.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're doing Medal of Honor, right?
No, Medal of Honor was
Oh,
just
they're
a
not?
one-off VR game that nobody liked. That was it.
What am I thinking of then?
The last good
I
Medal of
have no
Honor game
clue.
was European Assault.
Yeah,
That was forever ago. That was like PS2, I think.
it was.
What the
Definitely
heck am I
wasn't that
thinking of?
that reboot that was on last gen.
Oh yeah, dude, that was awful. Holy
Sucked.
crap. So bad. Yeah, Call of Duty they had the perfect tagline, secret tagline when it was originally in development, the Medal of Honor Killer. It most certainly did that. How do you guys feel about the potential of Netflix streaming video games, whether they're starting with mobile games and what the future may hold? How do you think that would work? You think you'd stream it to, I'm assuming, your platform of choice from Netflix?
You would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it been confirmed it's streaming, or if it's just like a game
I think that's
service?
just the headline for right now is a...
Yeah.
You mean game services in like, oh, Netflix is producing games now versus just streaming games?
No, when I hear streaming games, that makes me think of like xCloud or Stadia, and I don't
Exactly,
necessarily
yeah.
know that this is what that is.
The headline I read was, which just goes to show like what lazy researchers we are, but the headline I read is that Netflix is going to begin streaming games. That was one of many headlines.
Okay.
I mean, you would assume so because you stream the shows off their library, right?
Yeah, but there was also, and of course, I did zero research into this as well because I really didn't care about it. That
But it is interesting.
some people
like, what the
found some
potential could
stuff
be like.
about a Ghost of Tsushima built into this, so people were speculating if PlayStation was going to have a hand in any of this.
Mhm.
Yeah, all we really have is an announcement here. I'm reading this article on The Verge, and
Yeah, so their venture will start with ad-free games for mobile devices like phones and tablets, which will be available on the streaming service at no cost. The streaming service also said it would experiment with creating games based on existing Netflix franchises, as well as totally original standalone games that could potentially spawn spin-off movies or shows.
see, that idea is kind of interesting.
They have not given a specific date yet, but the service plans to be adding games to its platform on 2022. It's in the early stages of development.
So their grand design is to capture or to collect more revenue from their popular IPs. I guess. So that's their goals.
I guess
that makes sense.
Yeah, it hasn't. Yeah, I don't know. They haven't necessarily said that it's going to be like actually streaming games like a Stadia or anything of that nature.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. But I mean, what else? What else would it be? Right?
I mean, I guess it would just be like a subscription to where you're able to, I don't know, maybe download. I don't know how that would work with mobile, because Apple is like really. Remember how xCloud couldn't even work on Apple because that was streaming, and you had to like do it through an app browser or something like that. So I don't know if I don't know. I still don't think they've really given full on answers yet. But if that is the case, then that's automatically I'm even more uninterested in it, because I just don't want to stream my games at all.
Same.
I mean, maybe one day it'll be at the point where there's just no, latency or any delay, which, to me, I would be much more likely to jump into something like that if there was no downside to streaming a game.
Yeah.
But there just is right now. Because I don't necessarily care about like owning a game. Like it's nice to pay one fee. Unless you're playing like an MMO or something, like you buy the game and then you can play it as many times as you want. But I'm also the same kind of person that plays something once all the way through, and then I'm very unlikely to play it again. So
Gotcha. Yeah,
I know not everyone's like that.
I mean, I would rather I like the option of, I think xCloud is the best way to do things right now. Or the
100%.
The Game Pass service or whatever, where you have the option to stream the game or download the game. I think there needs to be an either or option. I just don't like the Stadia approach to this, where you buy this game and all you can do is stream it.
Yeah. And certainly because it's like the same price, like you're taking away the ownership of the product and to just access it for the same price. So it's like they're taking a little bit of the product away from you in a sense, even though you still need like these online services to even run a lot of these games anymore, update the games to where they can even run, for example.
Yeah.
Like for day one patches and stuff. So I don't know. It's a interesting sort of situation.
Yeah,
I'm sort of with you.
I'll be interested to see if they can even get this off the ground, because it seems just like Google started up some teams for Stadia and they just disbanded all of them. They didn't even put out anything. Amazon is finally about to put out something on that New World MMO. They already put out that Crucible MOBA Battle Royale thing that just crashed and burned in the most like spectacular fashion ever. So, all these giant corporations that are just throwing together teams, nothing has worked at all thus far. So that's kind of,
it's not that easy.
Yeah, exactly. And, Netflix hired like EA's mobile guy to come in and, start this thing off. So I don't know.
Great.
I don't think there's any reason for anybody on earth to like be hyped about this at all. So
the second that I hear mobile game, I'm like, I'll do something else.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a gotcha.
Maybe. But yeah, I don't think there's too much else to say about that.
Yeah. What else do we got here? We did that one. The only other story that we have here is the California is suing Activision Blizzard. That was a huge story this week, and it's pretty much anything that anyone's been talking about. If you go on Twitter, or Reddit, or any of these, gaming threads and whatnot, and a lot of people have been coming out against the company, including people that have worked there or still work there. Nothing has been proven yet. No one's been proven guilty yet, but there's certainly a lot of evidence from what I've just been researching and gathered. We don't have to necessarily sit here and talk about how we feel about it, but I think it's sort of interesting because I've always been someone that's really looked up to Blizzard, and I've probably been one of those people that have sort of taken the company and put it on this pedestal and been like, Blizzard's the best, like they can do no wrong, they have the best IPs, yada yada yada, and then like seeing over the years how the company has sort of just been sort of crumbling down, at least the perception of this perfect company, like. Because like it certainly brought me down in a sense where I don't know if I could ever idolize a company like I did them anymore. Because I guess at the end of the day, like a company that never really cares that much about you as a customer, right? They're just trying to make their bottom line, especially when they're, when they go public, even more so. Because all they're trying to do is just to keep those investors happy, which completely makes sense. Like that's how business works. But I guess it's just sort of been sad because I follow all the old guard of Blizzard, as people call them, like the rock stars of the old days, like Mike Morhaime, the old president of Blizzard, and what's his name, Ghostcrawler, who now works at Riot. He's like the community manager over there. There's several other names that I can't think of right now, but they all have like released statements and whatnot, and like saying that they failed everybody. And I don't want to sit here and say like, I'm with all these people that have like claimed that the company has done them wrong, or like, or I'm not on the other side either, where it's like, I don't believe that, I think these people are all just, this is a coup, like, but I more so just wanted to bring this up and. Because I think it's important, and I'm really interested to see what actually happens from this. We probably won't actually see the outcome of this case for probably even years at this point. I don't know, because these things take a really long time. But I'm more so just interested to see like what happens to Blizzard in terms of how fans perceive the company going forward. Because I think this is going to have a major effect in terms of like especially online, like. People are already tearing into Blizzard these last couple of years or so, but even more so now. Like people are just going to be so negative to anything that they do. I'm almost interested to see like how the new Call of Duty sells, or even the new D2 remake that comes out.
It's all gonna still sell gangbusters.
You have to assume it will, yeah. But yeah, I'm more so just as a consumer, I'm interested to see what sort of happens after all this. And I'm also of the position where I think like all these people are coming out and saying that, people higher up in the company were doing, there was sexual abuse, they were treating women unfairly, all that stuff. And I don't want to sit here and say that I don't like not sympathize with those people, because I do. And I think if those kind of people are going out and saying those things, you should probably give them the benefit of the doubt. But also, until it's proven true through the court of law, we should, take everything with a grain of salt, but also have sympathy. That's sort of where I stand. I don't know if you guys want to say anything or not. I just wanted to sort of talk about that really quick.
No, I think you covered it. I didn't have too many thoughts or responses to it. So it's just another story of allegations and sexual harassment that has been...
Which is just everywhere in the industry now, it seems.
Yeah, supposedly. So, sucks. It's a sucky situation, but in terms of...
like last week, even Ubisoft was being ridiculed again for similar things.
Right.
So,
I mean, there are some Activision Blizzard properties that might take a hit, maybe, but I mean, games like Call of Duty are just so transcendent from the games industry, or at least people actively engage in the games community with media outlets and whatnot, that we'll never even know about this. So Call of Duty will be fine, inevitably.
Jacob, since you've been playing WoW, I have been seeing on Twitter there's been some like actual protests going on in WoW. Have you seen any of that firsthand?
I have not seen that. I have also seen those articles. So I'm not on a hugely populated server, so unfortunately I haven't run into any of those, but I think it would be cool to actually see how things go on. because I haven't actually seen any footage or anything like that, so I don't know what they're actually doing. But I've seen like images of people standing on the steps of Ouroboros, which is like the new main city in the expansion, and like there's just tons of people, just hordes of them,
just hanging out playing their game or protesting while playing your game.
Well, they're saying that they've all canceled their subscription, and
it's like they're using their remaining days.
The remaining days to do it.
Okay, that's funny.
Which is kind of admirable, like it's kind of a cool thing to do, but is it going to do anything? Who knows? Probably not.
I don't think that's going to do anything. I think the state of California suing and the actual like court case is probably what's going to actually do what needs to be done. Yeah. So at least you would hope so.
Sure.
I'm very interested to see if the Blizzard president will step down, Jay Allen Brack. That's sort of what I'm most anticipating to happen.
Is he the dude with the long hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I saw he made a statement or sent an email out to everybody or something like that.
So did I forgot what her title is under Activision, but she was the former like something of George Bush's campaign or something. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But she has a high up position in Activision. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But they've had multiple statements, and apparently two of them are at odds with each other. I don't even know. Like, there's just so many different like things popping up every day that it's hard to even keep up with everything at this point.
Yeah.
But all I know is people aren't happy. And it kind of feels weird to be playing the game, but at the same time, I like think about like there's so many people that work on these kind of games, like especially an MMO. Like even though Blizzard has been cutting people and cutting costs across the WoW team, and specifically, like it still takes so many people to run an MMO. So, and not all these people are bad apples. Like a lot of these people they're coming to work. They're trying to do the best they can, make the best game they possibly can, and doing what their superiors say. And it's like I don't want to punish those people by not playing the game anymore. And I still enjoy the game, so it's like, do I just want to stop playing because none of this might not even be true. I mean, things are pointing towards it probably is true, but like people don't like. I don't know. I can disassociate myself from those things while also being sympathetic to them, if that makes sense. But I think that's all our news stories. If that's all we want to add.
Gotcha.
Garrett, it is time for Ask IOG.
Sick. Ask IOG is the part of the show where we answer your questions submitted through any of our social media at ItsObviousGaming, the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel, or emailed to us at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com. And always include the hashtag AskIOG so that we know you want your questions read live on the show. First one comes from Victor. He responded on Instagram about any questions or topics that we may want to discuss. Chernobylite, you guys know what that is?
I've seen that like a lot this week. I don't know what it is though.
I just haven't seen a trailer or anything. I just know it has something to do with Chernobyl.
I would think so.
Yeah, that's all I know. I've seen a picture of a guy in like a gas mask. That's all I've seen. Steam handheld, we talked about that, and games we're looking forward to most. For me, Battlefield, Halo, imminently. I'm sure there's something else in there I'm forgetting, but those are the two at the forefront of my mind. You guys looking up Chernobylite?
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer.
How's it look?
Interesting. It's like a first-person like survival horror RPG.
Interesting.
I've heard some Metro comparisons.
Yeah, it's very Metro-esque.
Whatever that other game shown at Xbox Stalker 2 or whatever. Kind of similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
looks a little less like visually impressive, but it looks really cool. And I say that, but it looks good, It's sort of like building a loadout, going after targets. Looks like seem to be some horror elements. Seems cool. And that's coming out the 28th, which is in 3 days. So I guess Wednesday or Thursday. What games am I looking forward to most this year? Probably Battlefield, like I said earlier. What else is coming out this year that we know of? Like, I can't even remember what's coming out this year. I just feel like I've been so out of the loop of releases. It also doesn't feel like a lot's coming out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we're gonna have our
I
Call
don't
of
think we have any other
Duty-
PlayStation exclusives coming this year that I can remember. I know Deathloop is technically like a timed exclusive, it looks like, but
Mhm.
I'm also looking forward to Deathloop. I should have mentioned that. Very excited to play that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know what I'm gonna be playing this year. I
A
guess
lot of
mostly
shooters for me.
Battlefield.
And some Hunt Showdown with yours truly.
But I already have that.
It's not a new game, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing that with you.
I am too. I'm actually really excited to try that. I've been trying to play with you for a while. Like, I say trying, but I haven't really been trying.
Play today if you want.
I don't have time today, but soon.
The
Very soon.
other PlayStation console exclusive, I'm not sure if it's coming to PC or not yet, that I'm interested in is that Kenya Bridge of Spirits.
Oh yeah.
That game looks.
I hope that's cool. It looks
good.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at my list. Far Cry 6, I'm interested in.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Maybe Forbidden West. I mean, Forbidden West still might be coming out this year. We don't know.
That would be cool.
I wouldn't count on it right now, but it still is, technically not been pushed yet, like God of War was. Tales of Arise looks like a pretty dope RPG coming out in September that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's more where I'm not thinking of right now.
Halo
So-
Infinite.
Oh yeah,
That is very much on my list.
I forgot about
My
it.
list. All right, next question.
Big nasty.
Nasty.
Big nasty. Says, not listening in a minute, so unsure of questions already asked, but with Halo Infinite flighting beginning as soon as next weekend, what has you most excited and alternatively least excited about the game? For me, I'm excited for what Forge may hold, but I'm afraid of about monetization. Due to them using a quote-unquote coding system for armor colors, leaving you unable to choose what specific colors you want. This leads me to believe they'll aggressively monetize similarly to how they did in Halo 5, and OFC with it being free to play, there are people who are okay with it.
What does he mean by the coding system?
So a big part of Infinite is there's no longer, or at least currently, unless they change it based on feedback and flighting, is that there's no more red versus blue. Like traditional Halo multiplayer, you just always have your custom colors on. But in every Halo game since the dawn of time, you can choose what colors you want. Say like, oh, I want to be red and black, you can be red and black. Or I want to be blue and gold, you can be blue and gold.
Yeah.
With this, all the codings are pre-rendered sets. Like for example, it'll be called like Crimson Nightmare, and it'll be like red and that's like the red and black skin. And there's like a camo skin, and it's like it's all just pre-rendered full skins. You can't
So
customize
it's
the
kind of
colors
like
anymore.
Destiny shaders.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's like.
Okay.
And 343 said you can earn the vast majority of them in game, but there's also going to be monetized codings as well if you want to pay for them.
They're definitely going to sell some colors, I bet.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really have a huge opinion on it just yet because all the codings I've seen, I haven't seen a single bad looking one. There's some awesome looking codings in there. And so long as I can unlock the ones I'm interested in by playing, I'm sure every now and then there may be a random coding, especially if they're cheap. I'm like, oh, I feel like buying that for my Spartan. Then maybe I will. But I mean, all the ones I've seen that they claim you can earn in game look really cool. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But what about you guys? I mean, I've researched every aspect of this game that they've revealed so far. So I'm interested to hear what you guys are most excited about and potentially least excited about based on what you have or have not seen.
Well, I'm really so unlike him, I'm actually excited that it's free to play, the multiplayer. I think that gives it a bigger upside in terms of the amount of people that will be playing. And I don't know if I have any downsides, to be honest. I like you said, I don't really know enough about the product yet to really. I mean, I'm sort of concerned about how long it's taken to get this game out. That's something that's been on the back of my mind, ever since the first
A lot of changed leadership
delay.
over the years too.
Exactly.
Some let go, others left.
I think I'm more so concerned about the campaign, though.
Me too. Yeah, I'm not so worried about multiplayer, but campaign's still pretty questionable. So
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, the good thing about free games, though, is that you don't have to purchase anything if you don't want to. It's completely optional. Most successful free-to-play games, you can progress and play as much as you want with your friends, regardless of how much you want to actually spend on the game. I mean, there's going to be like battle passes and stuff, so it's always... I think spending a little bit of money on free-to-play games is the optimal way to enjoy them, because especially with the battle pass system, it's always nice to sort of, pay like $15, $20. And I mean, it would be nice if you just unlocked a bunch of stuff when you bought the whatever it is, the battle pass, and as opposed to like having to earn XP to unlock the stuff after you buy it, which is kind of weird. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really oppose any of this stuff.
What about you, Poobah?
Ah, man, I might be the worst person on earth to ask about this because I just do not care. I care, but I don't care at the same time. I'm just, when it comes, I will play it, and I hope it's good. That's kind of like how I feel about it. I'm more like excited with the campaign, honestly. I just hope that is something that is just fun and has a story that is somewhat engaging. But in terms of multiplayer, I don't really know. I'm not very well versed in Halo multiplayer anyways. I've played probably in its entirety, potentially like there's no way I've played like over 50 hours of Halo multiplayer in my life. There's no way. I'm very like, I think the most that I had ever been into it was Halo 3. We were just playing like Forge mode for hours. So that was kind of like the most invested I ever was. There was a time when, Halo 5 was out that we were playing that like a few weeks, but that kind of dropped off there for a bit. So, like I said, I don't even know what I want with it. I just hope it's, I guess when I play it, I hope that I have fun when I play it. That's kind of the most I can hope for.
Wait, you want to have fun?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I would prefer to not be like, that's whatever. I would like for it to, I want to keep coming back to it because it's been a very, very long time since I played a multiplayer shooter that I have like longed to get back and play. So we'll see if this can maybe do that.
It's so weird to me to have fun playing a game. I play games to have a second job. That's why I play WoW.
Right?
just a big grind.
Yeah. I feel you.
Thank you for your question, Big Nasty.
Big Nasty. Bohongales writes in, says, "Hey fellas, hope y'all are having a good day and stuff. I was thinking, what do you guys think when games tell their story through multiple mediums, like WoW, for example? They tell a bit of their story in game, but will release full novels describing characters' full story. Compared to Final Fantasy XIV, where they tell the entire main story in game, or like League, where there is no main story, but they build lore through cinematics, comics, books, and even entire other games. Would you prefer a story to be self-contained within the game experience, or do you like being able to experience it through a bunch of different mediums?"
I would prefer for all of WoW's story to be in the game, but it is not, unfortunately. And oftentimes I feel like they rely on these other mediums to tell a complete story, and which has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, to be honest. They used to tell, well, I don't know. It's kind of weird because WoW has never really told like the best stories. In a sense, like they have really good characters and they have really good worlds, but they don't necessarily always tell the good story through an MMO medium. And I don't even know if telling a story through an MMO is, I mean, it's not the best way to tell a story. It clearly isn't.
I don't know. We haven't played a Shadowbringers yet.
True. Yeah, I guess
I have never heard a story talked about so positively than like Shadowbringers, and for that to be like in an MMO,
that's a very good point.
I'm so interested to see how they even do that.
Yeah. But as someone that plays WoW, I can tell you that the only way that I know the complete story is because I listen to YouTubers and like streamers that have consumed all these other forms of the story that have a full picture of the grand, of everything that's happening, because you only get like a slice of it in the actual game, which is strange. Like they write these, like they have this author named Christy Golden. She writes like all these stories like before expansions come out. And like there's a new book coming out for Sylvanas, which is like she's like been the villain she's like developed into a villain, but she was a horde faction leader for one of the factions in the game. And she's like slowly over time developed into this villain, and now she's like turned this corner where we're like supposed to sympathize with her. And like there's this novel coming out that's gonna talk about her whole life. And like as a player of the game, I'm like, why can't you like make a long quest line in the game or something to tell this story, as opposed to like me having to go buy a book to read about it.
Yeah.
Like it just comes off as like a way for them to make more money.
Dude, well, yeah. So check this out. So with me playing Nier Replicant, there is a lot of stuff in that game that is not in the game in terms of story. There is a entire encyclopedia that goes more in depth with characters and things that are going on. There are even stage plays that have only happened like 3 times that have like canon things that happen in the stage play. Mm-hmm. So it's like I just went through this story and like started looking into like things that weren't necessarily clear in the game, and like I said, I'm having to like find details that were leaked in a freaking concert stage play to actually know what's going on. So yes, yeah. I very much prefer like main scenario things be explained in the medium that you're like in a game or movie, whatever. I don't mind if there's like little like side things that are in a side novel or whatever, but if I'm having to like after I just put like 60 hours into a game, if I have to go look online and read multiple Wikipedia articles and encyclopedias and stuff like that to kind of like understand the story more, then I think that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. And I think those things it's not that they're bad. Like those books are good, right? Like any game that like has a show, like The Witcher, for example, like they made a show about it and it doesn't like rely on the show. That's what's good about the show, is that it's just like a retelling of the story of The Witcher, right? Like it's not like, oh, I played Witcher 3 and like, oh my God, like I don't like they're telling this other thing that like this like backstory of this character from the game. Like I need to go watch the show so I can understand the game better. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like I shouldn't have to do that. But that's kind of how it is in WoW right now. And it's kind of unfortunate. But I also don't just play the game for the narrative reasons, right? And I can't just watch a video to get that if I want the story, right? But like I play the game right now because I have people in my guild that I enjoy playing with, and I like running dungeons and doing the raids. Like that's why I play the game. But if I was someone that was really focused on the narrative, I probably wouldn't play the game, to be honest, because it's just kind of lackluster in some regards. Not to say that they don't do some things well, like I said earlier, but yeah. But that's another reason why I'm really excited to continue 14, because I want to get to that point where like I'm in Shadowbringers and I'm like, wow, like this is the best story ever, like everyone's saying.
You have an absolutely obscene long way to go.
I know. It's like hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
I'm excited though. It's going to be fun. We'll see if I actually get there.
I saw one guy I follow I know we're back on 14 again, but he just got back into 14 and he is just not having fun, and people are like, oh man, like it gets so much better like after like 80 hours or something, and he was just like, okay, well then the game's not good or whatever. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, that's a little ridiculous to say. Like this is an MMO, like the entire point of it is like you're supposed to like dedicate all this time and going through the game and stuff to get up to the expansion. So it's like, because Final Fantasy 14 has gotten so popular, I see people jumping into it and thinking it's just like some like normal RPG or something. They're not like treating it like an MMO.
I mean, I think it is a lot more like an RPG than any other MMO that I've played. Like they spend a lot of time, like the story, like even the early on quests, like I said, like they're a lot more engaging than anything that I've played. Like I've played SWTOR, I've played WoW, I've tried Elder Scrolls. There might be some others that I've tried, but I feel more engaged because they have like, I mean, like I know most of the voiceover cutscenes are like later on in the other expansions, but even early on, like there's in the main storyline, there's some voice acting, which is it like that automatically makes you more engaged, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on in the game. I'm like several hundred hours into the game. I have no clue. I'm in Heavensward and am just.
But you
clueless.
also take like huge breaks, so.
Yeah, I mean, to just get to Heavensward, I think I skipped everything. Just because I was trying to get to the actual expansion I paid for so long ago. There's so much content after the main game that they added in between the expansions that alone took me like weeks to get through.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's definitely
some work to do.
A lot of bang for your buck. That is for sure. But
That's a good thing.
it's a lot of fun. I just enjoy the gameplay of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Next question. Winkin writes in and asks us, "Hey, duders. Hope all is well. My question for you guys is if any of you have a preferred class or role you enjoy playing. For example, I'm a short guy clocking 5 feet 2 inches in height, and for some reason, I always choose the tank role. There's something comical about playing a giant tanky boy like Reinhardt in Overwatch when I am nothing like that in real life. Thanks for reading, boys. Have a great rest of your day."
I like healers.
You like healers?
Mm-hmm.
I like healers in Overwatch too.
I like support roles in any like team-based, like tactical style. Not really tactical, I guess, but a support role in team-based games I like a lot.
Yeah. Like in a Battlefield, for example.
Mm-hmm. I like being the medic in Battlefield.
Yeah.
I always love being healers in Overwatch. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I guess it depends. In Overwatch, in games like that, I necessarily don't have a particular role I gravitate towards. Maybe like DPS or like a DPS class, but in like for instance what's the genre called?
RPG?
An RPG or a it's what Dishonored and or like Deus Ex is. Real-time sim is what they're called. Holy crap, I have to look it up. Called? Yeah, they are. Or I don't know if that's the name. Gosh, I'm sorry. Y'all talk while I find this.
So games like Deus Ex and Dishonored, like games where you're like
there's
those games have skill trees, right?
I would say more Dishonored. You can play, or Deus Ex, you can kind of play in two different styles for the most part. Immersive sims is what they're called. My bad. Yeah, like Dishonored and Deus Ex, those are called like immersive sims. I always try and play, even in regular RPGs as well, just as stealthy as possible, like a good karma stealthy character. That's just always what I gravitate towards.
Avoiding conflict if it's unnecessary.
Yes, I have always, since I guess Splinter Cell is what did it. Just the concept of like being able to accomplish a goal without anybody even knowing you existed is just always been the coolest thing to me. So I always, love to play games like that.
I agree. Like that's actually one of the reasons why I like playing a rogue in WoW. Is I have an ability called stealth where I can literally just vanish from plain sight to any character in the game, and I can just it's very useful when you're out in the like open world and you can just get your objectives done and try to do it without anybody seeing you. Like that's actually like in a small way really satisfying when you can do that.
Yeah,
and you just avoid having to fight anything, which can save you time.
Yeah, for sure. So, that'd be my answer.
Gary, you already answered. That's cool. Okay. Pimp Daddy, next question.
Pimp Daddy.
Thank you. Hey, Cowboys. As the resident GTA guy, I was wondering how you fellers felt about the new car update and how it is making its way into the mainstream news articles and kind of causing a resurgence of players. I personally have fallen back in love with the game. Thanks for brightening my weeks. The Vanilla Villain.
Pip Daddy. I haven't actually seen anything about the car update, but cars have been one of my biggest. What I've loved most about GTA over the years was just the racing aspect and just driving around in those games, and just the physics and everything. I mean, I've loved really everything about it, but my favorite addition ever was GTA Online's crazy. It was like called Wild Stunts or whatever, that racing. That's the last time I was really into the game.
Oh yeah,
So
that
I'll have
was
to look
like
into
the
this.
second or third update.
Yeah, that was forever ago.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see what this new one's all about.
Yeah,
So I
I
can't
haven't-
really say much. I haven't looked into it.
I've seen some trailers on Twitch, but that's the only place I've seen them.
I would mess around with you guys in GTA 5 if you wanted to.
I have
Been
the
a
game
while.
on Steam.
I have it too. I don't have it installed.
I think I have
don't either.
I have GTA 5 on like every system ever, I think.
Nice.
This coming out on the new consoles this fall. Again.
Oh, is it this fall?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess.
GTA 5 car update.
I can't wait for
2021.
2055 when 6 comes out.
That'll be the year.
Yep.
I'll never forget that year. Then we went to go buy that game at the GameStop.
Yeah,
GTA
it was-
5.
It's
It was
crazy.
fun. Like I'd never seen that many people at a release.
I remember my Xbox refused to install the disc. I had to like
You were upset.
y'all were like done with the first mission and stuff, and I'm still trying to install.
You're like pacing the apartment.
Yeah, it's so
It's called Los
frustrating.
Santos Tuners.
Mm.
Guess you can tune your cars in new ways, I'm assuming.
And that's something you can tune your cars. We'll
More
see you
so
next
than you could
time.
before. A shared social space where you can show off your customized vehicles and race with other car enthusiasts.
Oh,
That's cool.
interesting.
It has a good vibes only policy, so there won't be any
Oh.
disturbance by the police, and weapons or weaponized vehicles are not allowed.
Wow.
Lame.
Oh, interesting. Becoming an Los Santos car meet member at the cost of a GTA 50 grand gives you access to even more privileges and features.
I thought you were going to say
Including
at the
access
cost
to
of.
track. There's a test track, test rides, prize ride challenges, merch shop, tattoo shop, modding area, several other rewards, including new customization options, trade prices on certain vehicles, access to new race modes, access to exclusive clothing items and fashionable gear. There's a lot in there. It's cool.
Very cool.
A repair and mod business, contracts, exotic exports. Dope.
You going to jump in, Garrett?
Probably not right now, but that is cool to know that's in there.
Hmm. I can confidently say that I won't be playing it, but it does sound cool.
It does sound really cool.
How many more questions do we have?
Daddy. Thanks, Pip. Daddy.
Looks like we got two more. You guys got time for two more?
Yeah, we can knock these out.
All right. Next one comes from our old friend, Sam Harris. And he asks us, Overlords, it has been more than a few fortnights since you blessed us with your presence. But just know your humble servant has been faithful and has patiently awaited your turn. Quick life update. I'm moving to Alabama at the end of the month, and hopefully we'll be joining the National Guard soon. Congratulations. Anyway, here's my question for y'all. What are y'all's most interesting, best moving stories? Did any of you forget something after y'all left? What is the worst piece of furniture to move? This is a lot of questions. And what is the one thing you've taken with you every time you've moved? Hope y'all have a great week. Y'all are awesome, and I hope y'all will still plug away with this amazing podcast. Love ya.
Love you to bits, Sam. Thanks for writing in, and congrats on the move, and of course your potentially inevitable joining of the National Guard. That's exciting.
For sure. I read that first question, like, what are y'all's most interesting, best moving stories? I read that as if like we were talking about video games. Like, what are the most interesting and best like moving like stories that moved you in games?
God of War, Last of Us 1 and 2.
That's why I was so confused though.
Uncharted
then he
4.
started talking about moving. I was like,
Oh,
wait,
PlayStation
what?
games, dude. Gears 2. I could name 100, dude.
Well, I don't have very many moving stories in terms of moving places because I haven't lived in that many places.
Yeah, my
in
only
my
moving
life.
stories recently when the guys tried to quit when they showed up.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's a long, annoying story. They tried to quit, and I called their boss, and their boss chewed them out, so they did the job.
Why were they going to quit?
Because I put in my notes 6 months prior and kept reminding this moving company that I had a lot of stairs and no elevator, and I was only having them move a few heavy things, and I was moving the rest myself. And these people show up 3.5 hours late and then try to quit when they see the staircase. and I kept coming, and they kept trying to make excuses like, well, our truck's too big. We can't park it around here. And I kept coming up with solutions, and then they'd make a new excuse every time. It was the most immature, or like one of the most profound displays of immaturity by 3 adults I've ever seen in my entire life. So
Goodness.
I did not let them quit.
Don't you quit on me. Well, that sounds incredibly annoying.
Yeah, if you're ever moving, never use the company All My Sons. I tipped them. I was nice to them, but they were so immature and annoying that I will always tell anyone who's moving, never, ever, ever use All My Sons.
Are you supposed to tip them?
I think it's a courteous thing to do. They say when you sign up too, they're like, hey, like our drivers appreciate like a tip of some sort after they help you move, which is to be expected, I feel like. I tipped all of them too. I didn't even really make it seem like I was annoyed, but internally I was just losing my mind with these people.
Yeah,
So,
I know how you are.
Yeah, never use them.
I know you're one of the nicest people. Yeah, I've only ever used like U-Hauls personally, or used pickup trucks.
Yeah.
I've never had to move like a ton of stuff myself.
I've never forgotten anything that I can remember that's noteworthy when I've moved.
Mm-hmm.
I've left things behind at like my parents' house when I moved out, but I've pretty much taken everything every time I move.
Yeah.
Yes,
I've been in
same here.
Georgia ever since I was 5. You know, like my parents used a moving truck when I was little. Well, came from Indiana, but that was a long time ago.
I think the most annoying thing I've moved consistently is I had to move a refrigerator between 3 different houses within the span of like 2 years, and that was pretty annoying. So we had to like keep like disassembling the refrigerator for it to fit through doors. Like you have to actually take the doors off the refrigerator, which involves like just the like order at which you have to take things off and like wires you have to unplug. We would always forget every time we'd done it, so it was like we would just have to figure it out again, which would just take an extra like hour just figuring that out. So just always became some annoying ordeal.
That sounds so annoying.
Yeah, so that's definitely the most annoying. Probably just the worst story is I had to help my parents move out extremely. I forget why it was sudden. I was like about to go out of town and they didn't have enough help and we just fell like way behind, and we like had to get their entire house like in their this shipping place in like 2 days. And the second night we were there, I had to like literally cancel the job I was going to the next day to help them. And my dad picked up this piece of glass and like sliced his entire hand open.
Oh my god.
He's like bleeding everywhere, and we're trying to, you know, pack up. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Everybody's just like freaking out trying to get this done. So yeah, that'd probably be my worst moving story.
That's like a big fear of mine.
Never a good time.
No.
I don't think there's one positive thing about it, except for the excitement of going to a new place. Everything else about it sucks.
You still have to like unpack everything.
Yeah, that sucks too.
Yeah. That's
why I was kind of bummed when you guys couldn't move out or move in with me this time, because I was hoping we'd be in a place for at least a couple of years, like a house of some sort. But I'm back in another studio apartment, assuming I'll only be here for a year, maybe 2, but probably not more than a year. And just thinking of how awful it was to move out of my last apartment into this one. To think just a year later I'd have to do that again.
Yeah.
It sucks. Like, I want to think if I'm moving in somewhere, I'm there for the long haul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I have faith that we will be living together very soon, if you're willing.
You said that the last 3 times.
Yeah, I have.
You better mean it this time, Jacob. Don't get my hopes up again.
I will not. I'm confident. I'm overly confident.
Let's start with a smaller commitment. Let's play Hunt Showdown together in the next 48 hours.
Let's do it.
I've been talking about that too much, too.
I could play it Monday night.
Let's do it. So can I.
Let's do it.
Big finale from Ed Richards. Thanks for writing in, Sam. Says, hope it's not too late for a question. Just wondering, what do you think of games with old controls, like Resident Evil 4? I can't play it because of the controls. Cheers. Hope you all are well. If a game's good enough with wonky controls, I can still get into it. Resident Evil 4 I got used to pretty quickly. Just because I had started that game way back in the day, and it is odd at first, but if you get used to it, it was fine for me. It isn't ideal. I'd rather play modern controls, of course, but if it's a wonky control scheme in a game that's really stands the test of time, I can deal with it personally.
Probably for me, it's just the old school Resident Evils, like mainly 1.
Like the tank controls.
Yeah, that's just a little too much for me. That's probably the only game I've played recently where that has kept me from playing it, honestly. For the most part, I can get around bad controls if I can see, the good beneath it. Which I feel like, people that haven't had experience with Resident Evil 4 over the years, I feel like most people probably can see past the controls, but I completely understand how that would be a hang up for some people. But I've played that game so many times, it's like second nature to me. So I really don't think about, how it's controlled. So and when it comes to that game, it just feels normal to me. So
do you guys remember when games used to, some games were just inverted? Like, that was the only way to play it.
I remember playing the Big Red 1 on PS2, and I can't remember if it was inverted or whatever it was, just did not feel right to me, and I had to completely rework how my brain works to play that game. And that was the game I rented for the week, so I had to. There was no other option.
Yeah, I was just never able to get over that hump of because you would eventually get used to it, and then you would play another game and it would be the opposite, and you'd be like, man, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I can't even comprehend that I have to change the direction of the stick I was doing.
Yeah,
that was too much for my little brain.
For sure.
Still is, actually. Yeah, I'm sort of the same way, Ed. Back controls are a nightmare. Can ruin a game for me. But at the same time, I don't really play that many games anymore with back controls. All games have really good controls nowadays. Yeah, it's much more of a big deal. I think back then people were just scrapping games together.
Yeah, I think we've gotten to the point where there's a general understanding on how people how games are supposed to feel, and commonality between the games on what buttons are supposed to do for the most part. Sure. Of course, there's the odd Deus Ex on Deus Ex Human Revolution to put your gun away. You have to hold L2 R2 square at the same time. Of course, there's still some weird combinations in some games. It is. I don't really understand why, but I don't know. Even that, I got used to it. So yeah, it's a lot easier on PC when you just have to push H to holster, as opposed to holding down 3 things. So
you ever wondered how without just having a option to play with mouse and keyboard on a console, is there any way to make it so that you could have a keyboard-esque style of the amount of buttons that you would have for a controller setup? Is there any Like there probably isn't. Like if you're trying to put it on a controller, but how do you think like the best way to solve that problem would be without just getting a keyboard? Because like I've like as a like someone that's played console games before, like I've always wanted more buttons. I just don't feel like there's enough enough key binds. Like especially if you're trying to play like I don't know something like Elder Scrolls maybe. Like maybe there's enough buttons. I don't know, but like Final Fantasy for example. Like I feel like it would be nice to have more buttons for some games.
I think that's where like the hot bars come into place, which I think Final Fantasy 14 has probably the best console controls for an MMO. Just how its hotbar system is. You can just have several that you can switch between, and it just is a matter of just holding down L and then hitting a corresponding button with it. I think
I can see
that works pretty well.
Yeah. Because I know on Xbox when I used to play my Xbox One, there was like a keyboard attachment. Like you know how you put those things in the bottom of the controller.
Yeah.
Like because you had to have one for the headset when it first came out, but like they would make some that were just keyboards, so you could just type with your thumbs, like a text message or some shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, a lot of consoles nowadays you can just use keyboards and mice, which is cool.
Yeah, if it's supported.
Yeah. Anyway,
which I know you can play FF14 on console with a keyboard and mouse. It supports it.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Very cool.
Thanks, Kanye. Very cool. I thought it was kind of funny. Kanye was at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium the other day doing his album listening event.
Yeah, I saw that. He was wearing pantyhose over his head.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just for the paparazzi, just so it annoys them so they can't take like a good picture of him.
Maybe.
I would do that just to mess with them.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk around with a shield over your face the whole time.
Does he have a new album?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out Friday, but I think it was delayed or something.
Oh, yeah, I think so. People were losing their mind on Twitter. I was like, drop it!
So.
Oh, man. Well, guys, I think we had a good show today.
I think so. Got a lot, talked about a lot, and had some great questions. We greatly appreciate the support and everyone tuning in.
Lots of good topics.
Be back. Hopefully we can churn out another one before another month goes by. That'd be nice. Just takes a little diligence on our part and making the time for it.
How about we wait like 3 months on this one? I need a longer break.
Right.
We'll catch y'all next year.
Yeah.
Peace.
In 2025, you can expect us to have more news. All right, boys. Well, it's an honor as always, and everyone tuning in. This podcast is still available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. No, it's Apple Podcast.
I thought you were gonna say Apple Pay.
Google Podcasts. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, it's probably there at this point. But thanks for tuning in, and we will keep up with you guys in Discord.
Thank you all for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Everyone have a nice week, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Bye-bye.